welcome back. Okay, in this tutorial I wanted to share with you how to use the blend modes and bring your attention to opacity and fill on your layers panel. So I've got a couple of images I've brought in from Pexels too, so thank you so much to the wonderful photographers on Pexels that share these images. So in this one we've got a shot of a straight road in front of us, and underneath it I've brought in a picture of a horse. Obviously, this is not a sensible composite. I've not thought this through as a composite. I just want you to understand where the blend modes are and what they might do for you. So let us play around. So we know that our horse is underneath. Let's bring the horse layer to the top. And I am going to make the horse a little bit smaller. It's already a smart object, so it's protected in terms of pixels. I've said Command or Control T. And then I'm going to hold down my Option or Alt button as I drag the little corner handle in to make the horse a bit smaller. And when you do that, it will shrink it from the middle so you avoid any distortion. Hit Return to save that change. And let's just, again, with the transform, Command or Control T, I'm going to drag it. I'm going to leave it on the street. Let's just see what happens if we blend the horse with the road. So I'm on my horse layer. Here are the blend modes. So top of the layers panel here it says normal. Underneath you have blend modes. Now these will do different things depending on which image is on top and underneath and what the highlights, shadows and midtones are in that image. They work around the concept of mid-grey. I'm not going to go into that here, but just so you are aware of that. So if you just scroll down, you will see different ways that Photoshop attempts to blend these two images together based on whether it's picking highlights, midtones or shadows from one image and then the other. So let's try doing it round the other way. So let's put the road layer on top and use the blend modes on the road layer, because usually you will end up looking or hopefully getting something a little bit different. So if we said we are going to kind of go for something a bit crazy, let's have a look. What have we got? Oh, kind of like that. That's totally mad. So let's leave it there. So we've blended in our road layer using the difference blend mode with the horse who's underneath. In fact, I'm just going to make this horse layer a bit big. I'm going to put it back to how it was. So I do apologise. Let's just drag that back up. So as you can see, I'm moving the horse because although this is the primary layer, this road layer, I've selected the horse layer underneath because the white box is around it. And then I've gone Command or Control T and dragged the corner back out. Hit Return, go back up to the road layer. And let's just have another flick through these blend modes and see what we get. That's kind of peculiar, isn't it? Subtract, let's go back up. And you probably work with this. You probably cut the horse out the background. Let's say lighten. As you can see, we've ended up the two blended together. The road looks like it's blending through the middle of the horse. Now, don't forget, you also have your opacity and fill over here. So with the difference between these two, if you change the opacity, it changes everything on that layer. If you change the fill, it only changes, literally as it says on the tin, the fill of that layer, meaning the colour and the picture. So any special effects, including blend modes, are not dragged down as you drag the fill down, only the actual contents of the image. So we don't want to do that, so we're losing pixels all around the edge here. But if we brought the horse up and put the horse on top, in fact, let's cut this horse out, shall we? Let's actually do this properly and see if it does a reasonable cutout of the horse, so we haven't got all this background around as well. Let's see if this works. Shove the pony onto a mask. We've lost her feet, but let's not worry too much about that. We're just going to play with our modes. So let's start with the horse. So there you go. I kind of think that's interesting. Let's make the horse a bit bigger. Kind of like a ghost horse galloping across the road now, blended into her reality. So there we have the horse. We've cut her out, so we're only seeing on this layer the horse because she's white and the background is all black. And we are blending the horse layer in with the road layer underneath, and the current blend mode is multiply. And you can go down and see what else you get. So some will work, some won't, some will do nothing because of the type of colour and light in the picture we are trying to blend. So it's a case of playing. I kind of like that one, so let's play with that. So I'm going to change my opacity, see what that does. So that will blend it in a bit more. Drag the fill down, doesn't really work for me. So you would start, you could even duplicate the horse. If you want the horse a bit darker, 2 copies of the horse. So we now have two, both of them are on overlay blend mode, but because there's 2 versions, it's much stronger. So if we pull one down, we now probably get more like the effect we want. So that is what your blend modes do. It will change depending on the layer stack. So how the order in which you put the layers will make a lot of difference to the blend mode, because it will vary which blend mode is applied to which layer. So if I applied the overlay blend mode to the road and the road was on top, it would possibly look different because of the priority of colours and tones. Don't forget to play around with your opacity and fill sliders too. Don't forget you can duplicate these layers. So you, like with this one, we've got a much stronger effect because we now have 2 copies of the horse. So play around with that. That is blend modes and opacity and fill on the layers panel. I would just like to add that when you select the brush tool, you will find you've got mode here as well. So you've got exactly the same options here, but just be aware that these will not change the layer. These are the settings for the brush. So if you were painting with a colour, you are applying a blend mode to what you are painting. So these are the same blend modes, but they are brush settings because they're in the panel for the brush. These are the blend modes that you apply to the layers. Okay, so have fun with that one. That's blend modes, and we've looked at the brushes and masks again, and don't forget you also have your opacity and fill options here. Okay, see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.